openness there is in your hamstrings and left hip joint. And again, playing with movement in the ankle, the toes, all these joints, one after another, absolutely miraculous. How they coordinate with the bones, ligaments, and tendons to allow for movement and ease. And then interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh or knee, if you care to. I'm lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, and maybe lessening the space between the forehead and the left knee, maybe not. It's possible to notice shifting in the joints as you stay in one position and breathe and soften. Extending the right leg if you care to, just for fun. Releasing the neck, head, and shoulders, and releasing the left leg, and again, as if you were tickling the air with your toes. Could you keep in touch with this left leg moving towards the ground, noticing the pull of gravity, what keeps us connected here to the earth, and just playing at the edges of resisting that until you make contact with the floor and release completely. Releasing with the mind, the breath. Any tension, all tension, inviting it to release on the out-breath. And shifting to the left side of the body so that you're like balanced on the edge of the body with your left hand either supporting your head or your left arm bent, supporting your head. The right leg stacked on top of the left. The right hand in front of the belly just to stabilize the body so you can just hover here on the side. And then allowing the right leg just to lift up off of the left, moving up into the air. Where do you notice sensation here? Can you release the head into the support of the left arm? Lifting, extending, breathing. All meeting all of this with awareness, wakefulness to whatever degree possible. And when you notice thoughts leaving the sensations, awareness leaving and thoughts taking you in other directions, can you acknowledge them and come back and start again? Allowing that right leg just to softly move towards the inner left leg. Noticing the point of contact and the release. And turning over so that you can play at this right-sided edge of the body, supporting your head with the right arm, with the left hand in front of the belly on the floor to support you. And then lifting with the right leg. Might be similar to the other side, might be different. Sensations might be more intense or less, easier to detect or harder. All of this can be held in awareness without judging it, without preference. Just noticing, breathing, lingering here at the edge of strain before pain. And then releasing the breath and letting the left leg now just move back towards the floor, towards that right inner leg. Resting here. And returning to lie on your back. Wiping the slate clean, as it were, so that everything that's come before can be released. Just like the out-breath. And opening fully to what's right here, the sensations, the aftermath of what we've just asked of the body, a sense of release or ease or tension or holding, whatever you notice. Holding all of these noticings in the domain of wakefulness to whatever degree possible. And then shifting to the right side so that you can make your way up towards a sitting posture. Seeing if you can maintain awareness of the movement, of the adjustments, of coming into a chair or the support of a back jack, so that less and less there might need to be a sense of formal practice starting and ending, and there more and more be just a continuous stream of awareness from one transition to another. Welcome again, all of you. Noticing if there is any sense of being perhaps more fully here after a formal practice like the one we just engaged in. Maybe a sense of having arrived in a different way. And spending a few minutes now to notice what you noticed during this practice. We'll stick to just this practice for now, tonight, of mindful movement. Anybody who'd care to comment on any observations, any awarenesses, any surprises or delights or frustrations or whatever. And if again you'd raise your hand, we don't have the bear tonight, but I do have this mic and I will bring it to you.
I'll speak. So I thought it was I noticed a marked difference in sensation with a sense of inviting in non-striving, and realizing that, that's new, kind of. Not new, but just maybe not as much in my awareness physically, with physical movement like that, like stretching or yoga or whatever, what have you.
What did you notice in your body? You said there was a marked shift.
Yeah, it was just a sense of like, just more, my body felt relieved almost, and just more content, if that's a bodily sensation. I don't know if that's or if that's an emotion or a thought, but I guess just more here. More here. So that was sort of oh.
Helped you
Oh,
land.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, like, oh, I know. Okay.
mm.
You know, and then, yeah, very relaxing in my body. I noticed my right leg felt extremely heavy compared to my left leg when it went up in the air. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ashley.
sure.
I wonder if there's a way to set her up so you don't have to
I know.
be monitoring. And again, you might try with the yoga mat so that the stickiness will. And then, Sarah, you won't be able to see everything, but you'll hopefully are hearing.
And that's okay. I'm mostly a person here now.
Keep us posted.
You're muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do the best we can. So one of the things about movement is it is a wonderful place to notice familiar patterns of the mind that might have something to do with striving. So thanks for noting that, Ashley. Did you raise your hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I think that what I noticed is the floor was very hard. I noticed it particularly on my sacrum, and then lying on the side when my legs were together. I really noticed the sensation of the floor. But what was interesting is to not go to the place of, oh, when is this going to be over? You know, when is this discomfort going to, you know, just staying with it. Okay, this is how it feels right now, rather than waiting for it to be over, waiting for the next thing. So just staying with the sensation. So that, I was glad I didn't go into this, oh, well, this is no fun, or, you know,
Did you
lamenting the sensation, because it's on the spectrum of discomfort rather than something that you would want.
So noticing discomfort
Mm-hmm.
and exploring this actually quite radical option of not recoiling from it or engaging in a struggle with it,
Mm-hmm.
allowing it to be. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Did you notice an intentional choice you made, Holly?
No, not really. It just, no, I didn't notice a choice.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Kelly?
I guess what I noticed the most was that I was trying really hard. You know, I would try and
a little
then,
bit closer to your mouth. Thank you.
you know, like I was trying to stretch or trying to get in the right position, and then, you know, you would remind us without, you know, without trying, and then I would feel myself physically release from that effort, you know.
How was that physical sense of release? Where did you
It was-
notice that, or what?
Just depending on where I was, you know, like if I noticed that I was, like trying to, you know, pull a stretch a little, you know, just releasing it a little bit, and not even so, and kind of a balance between releasing it in my mind and in my you know, physically. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's basically what I got.
Yeah, wonderful awareness. And the body is always sending us signals to the mind. We're not in touch with them a lot of the time, but this is where mindful movement, mindful yoga practice, and can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
This is where yoga can be so helpful and different from the body scan, because there are sensations that come from movement, and we can tune in to where there is an efforting or a striving or a tensing. And that attunement can allow for a choice of what to do next. Yeah. Thank you. Did I see you?
No.
No. Would anyone else like to comment on something they noticed during this practice? Jack?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do you guys like to close your eyes while you do it, or do you have, or do some of you like have to keep your eyes open at the moment?
Can I answer your question with a question?
Yeah,
What did you do?
I was going back and forth.
And what did you notice going back and forth with eyes closed, eyes open?
You know, I would just be like, I'd be kind of lost in thought at moments, and then I'm like, oh wait, my eyes are open. And then I'll try to close them, and then I realize I lose it.
Jack, you're actually reminding me that I forgot in my guidance to invite you to play with eyes open, eyes closed. It's really a wonderful thing to do, and noticing how that impacts your sense of connection with the present moment in the body. There's not a right or a wrong, but there can be patterns that you notice.
Cool.
And so wonderful that you played with it, but also you noticed the impact
Yeah.
of sometimes eyes open distraction. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to invite us to shift to finding someone. We're still working with, I think, people you haven't met yet. So finding a partner that you haven't worked with yet. And this is a chance to touch base about home practice this week. What you noticed, any difficulties you met with, how you worked with them, any delights or surprises that you found through your home practice. So spending a couple of minutes each to touch base, finding someone you know, introducing yourself.
So how do you feel after that? Yeah, then that's it.
So could you hear this? She points us over practice. And what went well is actually
I definitely noticed
Okay.
extend the conversation to the large group. So, and I wonder how it feels for you all. Would you like to be sort of in the flow of the group here, the circle?
Okay.
Okay, however's most comfortable for you. And how about you all behind them?
You're good.
You're good. Okay. Jack, would you mind just moving a little so I can see Linda? Yeah, thank you. She's behind you there. Just a little forward.
Oh, a little forward.
Thank you. Now I can see everybody. Thanks a lot. So what did you notice from home practice? And again, just as a refresher, as if you could forget, we practiced the body scan, or not, this week. And the 10-minute sitting practice with awareness of breathing, and another routine daily activity. And we'll get to the pleasant experiences calendar. Let's hold off on that for the moment. But really, what did you notice from engaging in your laboratory, experimenting this week with practice?
If I'm close to you, I can hear you.
I'm so glad I project.
And I've got a volume on it so that I can change it up and down.
Terrific. Okay, Kelly.
I guess I've just noticed that it's hard work. I thought I would want to do, I thought it would be like me time, my time to relax into and take the time to, be in the moment and relax. And I'm finding that it's hard. I mean, it's hard to make myself do it. It's hard to carve out the time for when I want to do it versus when I can do it and when it's right for everybody else in the house. And
Yeah, and Kelly,
it's hard work.
welcome back, because you were having an acute bug last week, so glad to have you back. And I saw as you were talking, some people nodding their heads. Do you want to just give Kelly some feedback of what we talked about last week? Is this a common experience that people are finding this challenging? I mean, I don't want to name your experience for you, but
I find it really challenging also in the moment of the body scan to really make my mind think about the arch of my foot and follow along. And I find myself all the time drifting off into other thoughts, usually things to do or ideas. And then I realize, okay, coming back, because that's what the point is, come back and I give myself less pressure this week, because I realized it was helpful saying this is what minds do as they wander on and off, and I'm not going to be for 39 minutes totally focused on every body part. And it was nice to let myself just have a little break and know, okay, my mind's going to wander and I'm going to come back. And like he said, hopefully right now, we're here at the left knee, and that's where you need to be, and that would bring me back. But I find it really difficult to focus for that long. I find that tonight the yoga, because there is all the sensation in the body that's way more intense than being still, it feels like I can be more in my body with the movement. It's really helpful to me.
thank you so much, both of you, for naming that, which might resonate for some others of you, the challenge of focusing the mind. The challenge, in a way, you could say, of gathering the mind from all the directions it wants to go off, and it does. And this is really hard, I think, to take in, because the instructions are explicit about focusing the mind here in the body with the breath. And it's noticing the wandering too. That's as much a part of the practice as the focused attention on the right knee or the left elbow. And so we begin to expand maybe our understanding of practice to say, well, it's focusing, it's gathering the mind intentionally on purpose to be here. And it's noticing that often we're not. And in that moment, choosing, having a choice to come back, rather than being taken downstream for God knows how long, maybe months, decades. I'm teasing a little bit, but do you know that feeling? Like, you can be gone for a long time in the doing mode, in the obsession mode, in the thinking about mode. So anytime you catch where you've gone and choose to come back, that's as much a part of practice as the keen engagement, you know, with the sternum. Is that beginning to expand the container a little bit? This is what minds do, and the noticing them is a big deal. The noticing the wandering and the choosing to come back. What else? And I would just say, because you've been at this 2 weeks now. So let's count them, 14 days. Maybe with 2 days off, maybe not. In many ways, I feel this, what you're being asked to do, what we're all engaging in, is just the hardest work in the world. Because not only are we being asked to pay attention in the body with the breath, we're being asked to notice what keeps us from paying attention to the breath in the body. What distracts us? What's on our minds? What's in our hearts? What's been an obstacle to being present? What have we been carrying, you know, for maybe a long time? That's very hard often to look at. So I do want to say I empathize with the difficulty of this practice, and it's maybe has more dimensions than just staying focused with a body part. It's noticing what takes us away. So, Lisa, please.
Sarah asked me, I love the body scan, and Sarah asked me, why do you love the body scan? But I think it's because I think because everything I do is so physical that I love laying there and paying attention just to my toes, and just to the arch of my foot, and just to the calf muscle, and so I love it. And then I have to do it in the morning, because if I don't do it the first thing and get it done, I've got to stop the show sometime during the day and lay down and do it. And I did that yesterday. I was working in the yard and I laid down, and it was like a whole different thing, because I had been working in the yard and my muscles were getting stiff. And it was like, oh my God, there is a lot of pain. And I don't even know if I would have noticed like how sore things were getting, because I wouldn't have stopped for 40 minutes to do anything. I would have just kept going, you know, or something. And then the thing also, like the everyday activity, I think what I notice more is, and I have been meditating and for a while, and I notice that when I'm doing dishes, but I did notice one time when my mind left and I was thinking about something else, and I was like, oh, planning, wow, and went back to dishes. So it wasn't like, the first week it was like effortful. It seemed like it slowed me down, like cooking, and I'm trying to think about like every little spoon that I'm measuring, you know, and I was like, I don't think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be noticing if I'm present with the cooking. So I hope that I'm going in the right direction with this, because when I cook, I'm cooking.
Yeah. How did a less effortful approach feel in the
It
body?
felt good.
So there's
And I
good
noticed
feedback.
when my mind left, which was like, oh my God, it really leaves. I don't do the dishes. You know, so there was that. And then the hardest thing I really had a hard time fitting in 10 minutes. And that I ended up doing in bed with my earphones on sometimes, not sitting up. But I was diligent. I was homework, and I'm not going to sleep until I do it.
So always preferable to do the practice in whatever posture makes sense for you in that moment.
I
So
figured it would be okay. I think you're catching on to something. Maybe, folks. Maybe, folks. However you can show up in this moment is okay. Maybe. So we want to touch base on these, this other practice of noticing pleasant experiences, if you did notice pleasant experiences. And I'm going to go to the board, and Bobby, could I just ask you to peek into the camera to see if I'm in the screen? I've been told that that's
Your
an
head's
important
not.
element. What's that?
Your head's not.
Oh, well, who needs the head?
I'm hearing Janet.
Thank you, Lisa and Sarah. And there's a way to adjust. Thank you. It's just really a tilting. Oh, gotcha. Thank you so much. So, I'm going to put pleasant experience here. And then, a little bit like we did last week, we're really teasing apart these different components of experience to get more intimate. What's happening?